Hello, what's up everybody, Mario here, this time with a new video. I'm making a guide on Vladimir, playing him in mid lane, because this ranked game here, the replay I'm currently loading, went pretty well, and I think it clearly demonstrates the role that Vladimir takes, especially for team fights. So we're starting off maybe with runes, masteries. I'm using quite uncommon rune combinations, I think. When I'm playing Vladimir, I take movement speed quints, magic penetration marks and glyphs, and armor seals. Armor seals especially important since we're going to play against Zed in lane. He's going to do physical damage. The movement speed quints on Vladimir are quite important as well, because he's one of the shortest ranged casters. And that means... Oh wow, that's a pretty loud sound. I'm going to tune that down a bit. Let's just focus in. That means that he often, when he's trying to exchange his spells with an enemy, and they have a longer spell range, then maybe they come to basically use their spells on him, and he can't hit his Q in return. So that's bad. You generally want more move speed than your opponent when playing Vladimir, since whenever your Q is up, you want to use it on the enemy, and so when you're faster than him, he can't just easily run away like you do if you're slower. Also makes you less vulnerable to ganks, and gives you some sticking power when you apply your ultimate later in fights. Then you want to hit some spells after that. And if that doesn't work because you're too slow, that's just a bad thing. So we have movement speed, magic penetration. Also on glyphs. I also used them on glyphs when playing against an AP caster instead of magic resist or ability power. Ability power on Vladimir is actually quite nice because he gets health from it, but later in the game, magic penetration just gives you more damage. Basically the same thing as if you maybe watched my Vega guide. That's just my opinion on most magic damage AP casters. That you want the ability power for later. The magic penetration for later in the game, and skip the ability power because the bonus actually gets comparatively small later in the game. So those are my my runes. To my masteries, maybe should shortly say I'm just taking basically 2190 for obvious reasons. And in this game, since it's ranked, I saw I was going to play against that. I took the armor, obviously, in the defense tree. Obviously, when you're playing against an AP caster, you take the magic resist. So what we're doing here on my start items, usually for the same reason as why you're taking movement speed quints, it's quite good to start with boots, because they synergize with your movement speed quints, and it makes it really fast, hard to gank, and you can always, practically always hit your Q when it's up, and the enemy can't outrun it. But since I'm playing against Zed, and Zed has kind of a strong all-in kill potential, I just started with the cloth armor. Since I don't have too much armor early, no one has, you're starting with a low amount of armor. And I really don't want to give him an unnecessary first blood kill, something like that, something to get ahead. So just some armor. Remember, since you're regenerating health with your heal pots and your Q and your W, that means if you have armor, you're regenerating more effective health than if you have lower resistances. He has to bring up more damage to get this health down again that you just regenerated. So I was a bit of surprised by the way Zed played there. If you watched, you saw he's trying to just push the lanes really hard. He doesn't want to make any fights or exchanges right now. But I just guessed he was just maybe waiting, getting some items up, or waiting for jungler gank, I don't know. Cause that really has to go kinda all in. I'm going to watch his build anyways. Usually our trades just don't pay off for him. since I'm able to hit several auto attacks. He's melee. The Q, the E. Ah, yeah, that's nice. The spectator mode replay recording allows you to watch my build. Obviously, you start to max Q first. On level 2, you want the Sandrian pool basically just for the escape. It's an awesome escape tool, and it's better to have it at level 2 than just at level 4, because at level 3 you obviously want to max your Q again. Always max your Q whenever you can. Q is really strong. It's especially important for me to max it because I don't have a lot of ability power, so all the damage basically just comes from the base damage stats of the abilities right now. As you can see here, 160 damage from the base stat and just plus 8 damage from the ability power. I just don't have much ability power yet. Okay, so we're just playing it carefully. I'm trying to focus on farm. Something that's really important when playing Vladimir. You will be tempted to use your Q to last hit minions, because it doesn't cost any mana and it's easier to last hit minions with that compared to your auto attacks, since your auto attacks don't deal much damage and the animation isn't so clean. It's a bit misleading sometimes. So you'll be tempted to do that, but you really shouldn't. In most cases, you should really want to save your Q, especially for really hitting your enemy, because it's your strongest harass tool. So don't use just your Q on minions, especially early levels when your Q has a long cooldown, and then you can't do anything against the opponent, he's going to go in. All your zoning potential really comes from your Q, and you should exploit that as good as you can. Most champs you play against have to use mana to trade with you, and you don't, so make the best out of it. Because Vladimir is definitely not overpowered or really strong, so you really have to use what this champion brings you. As you see, I'm always trying to exchange as good as I can, harass him. If you notice his build, he started with the elixir and now bought attack damage on top of it, so he'd have quite a strong kill potential. I knew I was up against Zed and I intentionally picked Vladimir. Maybe I should go through the abilities one time, but I think you probably know his abilities. So I like Vladimir against Zed because of his W, basically. When you see that Zed ults you, then, as you may know, if you play Zed as well, all the damage he does to you in the next several seconds, I don't know how long it takes, will just be repeated basically by his ultimate. So when he uses his ultimate on you and then you go pool, his ultimate's not going to deal much damage at all. And that's basically a good thing. Of course, when you're fighting him, if you're fighting anyone, you always have to hit your ultimate first. When playing Vladimir, really read all the tooltips. It's important. His ultimate is basically the strongest thing about Vladimir and gives him all his team fighting potential, since it increases the damage of all sources to all enemies hit for 4 seconds. So all the damage your teammates deal will be amplified in those 4 seconds. So never use it as a last hitting, finishing off tool whatsoever. But always hit it at the beginning of the fight. That's the only way, the way to put it to maximum use. If you hit a lot of members in the team fight, often the enemies want to just back out and don't fight until the ultimate ran off. That's an important situation. Okay, so since what you saw, what happened, he used his elixir to stay alive. Okay, he had that up. He also had ignite. I had ignite as well. he wouldn't have not been able to finish me off alone. If he checked the bush, I was almost having my Q up again and could have hit him. So I'm on par with him right now, 1-on-1. And that's important. Vladimir doesn't have so much damage and killing potential usually, since he's more AoE focused. So you want to build up a lot of damage basically. Against most lanes, well, you have that's difficult to say. Let's say you have to look what your opponent is building and how he's playing. If he's going to sustain you out, basically harassing you and bringing your health down when you're low, then fighting, and you can't heal your health up, then you want Spell Vamp. Obviously the Hextech Revolver for some Spell Vamp, so you can heal up more. And then you maybe even want to go for cooldown reduction boots. But if your opponent prefers going 1-on-1, just all in, like the set is obviously doing. Here again, see, the ultimate did absolutely no damage to me, despite he's having elixir and all. If he's going all in, from full health to 0, then Spell Vamp is not going to bring you much use. It's not helping you much at all, since Vladimir has 2 abilities that regenerate his health and scale in some way with ability power. Then that's not really important to get. So in this game, playing against Zed, who, as you can see, he built Brutalizer. He does not have Vampiric Scepter. He's not going for a sustain build. He just wants to go all in every time he can. Then I'm also not going to build Spell Vamp. I'm going to build ability power and armor. I'm trying to rush for the Zhonya's. Maybe you think Zhonya's wouldn't be important on Vladimir because he has this pool to get untargetable, but it's actually getting a lot stronger through that, if you can chain untargetable abilities. So basically you can use your abilities once, go into pool, use your abilities twice, go to Zhonya stasis, and then use your abilities again. That's really strong. And the stats, of course, armor and ability power, are really good to fight against Zed, obviously. Zed can't heal up in fights, so your combo has to kill him. If it doesn't kill him, then he kills you. That's the case for most matchups. I really don't like that Spell Vamp build at all. Unless you really have to, getting sustained damage, then okay, you have to buy it, but it's always a downside. You're losing killing potential and damage potential. And the flat ability power gives you health sustain as well, so we're not going for it. As you can see, your Q scales with the healing effect scales with ability power as well, so just by 25% or something, but since it's on such a short cooldown, that's still pretty good. So right now game's pretty balanced. We have a slight lead. Maybe I should set those up a bit better. Let's see. So that's easier to compare. Oh, what happened? He went pop. Set ultimate. When you're farming with Vladimir and you're not sitting right at your tower, then don't use your W. Don't use it for harassment as well. Your W should always be kept safe for when the enemy jungler is ganking. It doesn't just make you untargetable for... how long is it exactly? 2 seconds. But it also, what the tooltip doesn't stack, give you a movement speed boost. When you're going to pool, you're a bit faster, so if you got boots and the movement speed quints, or in my case only movement speed quints, then together with the pool speed bonus in mid lane, you're pretty fast back at your tower. I just did that to make sure Tristana's not getting a kill on those low healths here. I pre-made with Don Yedita. He said me he still had his shield up and stuff, but I just want to make sure. So yeah, always keep your pool. Which ability is to be maxed secondly? That's kind of it depends. Your W gives you more health sustain in an all-in-all fight, I'd say, and I think, yeah, I think you can say it also gives you more damage in all-in. If you're able to keep the enemy the entire time, the entire 2 seconds in that damage zone, then the damage is significantly greater than if you just be able to use 1 or at maximum 2 times your E. However, if you're having a lane opponent who doesn't go all in, and you're preferring to harass each other at a distance, so you're not playing against melee champ and stuff, then, or you're having an easy lane and you're ahead, then you want to max your E secondly, because you can use your E and your Q together for larger harassment than just using your Q alone. Obviously at level 1 your E doesn't deal a lot of damage. You can also use your E to farm waves really fast, which is also quite nice. For example, when you're split pushing somewhere, and later if you got a lot of ability power and your E is on level 5, then if you're stacking it up... Oh yeah, really read the tooltip, I haven't mentioned that yet. If you're stacking that up, then it gets... Whoa, what's happening here? It's really able to kill and clear minion waves really fast. Vladimir is also good for defending your Nexus turrets if there are a lot of minions, enemy minions pushing in, because his W and his E have a lot of AoE damage against basically unlimited possible amount of targets. That's really good for defending, clearing those minions off. So what I'm building so far, I finished my Zonias, which is great of course, fighting against Zed. Then you don't want that time where your abilities are on cooldown and he can just hit you with everything. When your ability is on cooldown, you want to be in an untargetable effect with Vladimir. No ult for that. Didn't have it either. So that was quite good for me, getting 2 kills there. The boots are also maybe... I think I also wanted a long time if it's better to get cooldown reduction or movement speed boots. To be fair, cooldown reduction boots are really not a bad thing on Vladimir, since he's not using any mana for his spells. It's actually great to have his cooldowns down, and most cooldown reduction items tend to be to give you some sort of mana regeneration that you don't want to buy to spend money for, with the exception maybe of the Deathfire Grasp. But the Deathfire Grasp is better for single target nukers, and Vladimir stealing more AoE damage is not doing so much single target damage at all. So there are better items for Vladimir, you don't want to get them. And if you want your cooldowns to be shortened, which is of course, well, a nice thing to have from Vladimir obviously, then those boots really aren't as bad. But since I'm playing against Zed, and I must say usually I do that with others as well, died there, but we got one. Still not the best call. If you're using your combo on someone and he survives, then that just sucks. That's really annoying. That's the main reason why I went over at some point to just build more magic penetration. Remember, I got a lot of magic penetration from maybe, I don't know, can I show that up in some way in the spectator mode? I'm not used to that. Since I'm building a lot of magic penetration, flat magic penetration with my runes, then I obviously want the boots as well to get the enemy magic resistance closer, effective enemy magic resistance against me closer to 0. When you're starting to build flat magic penetration, then you want more of it for sure. General magic penetration. If you're having a low number there, it's not gonna do as much. So I'm just trying to zone them out. So I saw Dragon is live, so my teammates can do that. Vladimir has a decent zoning potential in general, because no one really wants to get hit by his Q, even if you can hit him in return, because they know, well, Vladimir's gonna heal from that. So if you check my build again, I'm just building more ability power, more damage general. Here, I used that pool not for the untargetable. I really used it just for the movement speed bonus to get out of there, before Nasus has the chance to slow me. Cause if he got a slow on me, I would be dead there as well. So I'm just building more ability power, because I really want to be able to kill Zed most of all, and also of course Tristana with my combo. If they survive my combo, that's a bad thing. Let's just compare gold maybe. So Diana with all her kills getting fed by this obviously not too good Irelia has more, but I'm doing quite well. Zed has also more gold. He's out farming me a bit. Yeah, anyways, you will want the killing potential. If you go this build, this magic penetration, strong 1v1 power, killing power build, then you will just really want to stack damage.
Blue team double kill. Blue team triple kill.
Yeah, triple kill on Zed. Great. Four kills on Zed. If you failed your lane against an AP caster, so you went probably cooldown reduction boots, spell vamp, then you really want to get the... Wait, let me not confuse it. The Spirit Visage, exactly. Spirit Visage is a great item on Vladimir. If you need a magic resist item anyway, since it gives you 20% cooldown reduction, and as we said, cooldown reduction is awesome. You could also get it with magic penetration boots, of course. And but in general, I can turn the camera like that. Didn't even know that. That's cool. Cool. Okay, never mind. Can I reset this to standard? Whoa, this is just freaky. I think that way is normal. So once you get Spellvamp, then place the Spirit Visage on top of that. You get a really nice amount of health regeneration in fights. Which is mostly, well, let's just sum it up. The Spirit Visage has magic resistance, so against magic damage it increases your effective healing. This increases your resistances. It gives you a cooldown reduction, so you're able to use your health regaining abilities more often. So you're regaining health more often, basically. you're getting health, which means your W. Remember, your W doesn't scale directly with ability power, it scales with your bonus health. So it's going to deal more damage and heal you more with the Spirit Visage health that you buy. And last but not least, you're getting a small amount of ability power from your passive from buying that health. And this ability power in return is going to benefit the Q healing and through your damage done when you got Spell Vamp, your health again. So Spirit Visage is a great item on Vladimir if you want to get one magic resist item and you got kind of a sustain or tanky Vladimir build, then you really want to get it. If you're going for straight damage, then the Abyssal Scepter might be better. King Killsteal on Vladimir. How many stacks on my E am I having now? 3, okay. As you see, I'm constantly using my W for speed boost to catch up to opponents that are outrunning me. But in this case there's no point in chasing Aurelia. Or I thought at least. Nah, there's really no point. Just doing my Q for the cooldown reduction obviously, since right now I'm doing a lot of damage with my abilities, but they are on a rather long cooldown really. I only have 4% cooldown reduction from the... from my masteries, and nothing else. I have no cooldown reduction item, nothing. Perfect E from Wayne. Thank you, Wayne. Really useful. So that's why I just grabbed the blue buff. Obviously not mana regeneration, anything, but the cooldowns, getting cooldowns down are it's really important. It might allow you to pool twice in a team fight. So in teamfights general, remember you use your ultimate first, then you're trying to use your E, your Q, and then go pool when all your abilities are on cooldown and the enemies start attacking you. And your health is getting low, that should be said, yeah. The health should be already quite low, since you're using a percentage of your current health to go into pool. Then you want to be... Don't wait too long. Better to go in a bit too early than a bit too late. But when your health is low, then you're starting to pool first. When you come up, it depends. You should have gotten enough health back to use your Q and your E again. Anyways, once you have to become untargetable again, then use your Zonias. And if your Zonias is over, then try to survive with your Q and your E again until... hopefully, maybe, if you manage to get out of the damage zone and they switch targets, you're going to survive long enough. This Thresh pissed me off. I see why they had the ward there. Kinda guessed that. Nice play by Thresh there, I must admit. Twice, basically. Yeah, meanwhile at mid lane, tower's getting destroyed, so it's not looking too good. They're having a 2k gold advantage, and feel like they're having a strong map advantage when it comes to warding. Let's just switch the Fog of War. What they're seeing. They have nice map vision now, top half of the jungle. General top half of the map, and we don't see anything right now. We have not a single ward in our jungle. We don't see Baron. Dangerous situation. So the other bot wards to place them. Quite nice. I think we saw somebody at bot lane farming something, so we decided to go for Baron. This was so risky. Nasus was in smite range, she could have gotten it. God damn Tristana. And there, my pool just came off cooldown. Due to the blue buff. If I didn't have the blue buff in that situation, I would have been dead. The blue buff really saved my life. It meant the difference of just being one death, or surviving and getting 2 kills instead. And there the pool was up again. So cooldown reduction is really quite a nice thing on Vladimir. So I really understand when people say they're getting cooldown reduction boots on. Yeah. The Spirit Visage, I think I would have built Spirit Visage against that in that game as well, if they would have any amount of magical damage, but they don't, so no need quite yet. I'm just stacking damage, lots of damage. I got right now 516 ability power, that's a lot. My passive gives me, it's just saying that. Yeah, 718 health, bonus health, just from basically the ability power I bought. And remember, I got no ability power runes, but just pure magic penetration. It's giving me, I think, when you got move speed quints, then you got still 14 flat magic penetration from your runes, the glyphs and the marks together. So, shouldn't. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay. 13 actually. Getting 13. 13, then 15 on top of that from the Sorcerer Shoes. And right now 30% from the Mastery, 8%, and 35% from Void Staff. So I'm doing true damage to a target with up to... I'm going to use the calculator for that one. Calculator, where are you? There it is. 28 divided by 1.6. Up to 46.67, so 47 magic resist. I'm doing true damage right now. And over that they still got a lot of reduced magic resistance. In general, you want to build more. No, that's not that easy to say. Well, Vladimir has one ability that does a lot of damage, and it's not scaling with ability power, and it's doing magic damage. So for that ability, magic penetration is obviously quite good. It does scale with ability power in some way, since it's scaling with health, and you get health from your passive, from ability power. But obviously the scaling isn't that high, so magic penetration is quite a good thing to get. However, the active healing from your Q scales directly with your ability power. It's not based on the damage you deal. So, except from if you got spell vamp, then your Q healing does not benefit from your magic penetration. Unlike your Sandrian pool. Sandrian pool, the healing is based on the damage dealt. I think Vladimir deals 300 magic damage over the duration, heals himself for 12%. Okay, I'm not sure about that, but I think it's based on the damage actually inflicted, so it's scaling with magic penetration. That's kind of a tensed fight, but I was able to hit a lot of enemies with my ultimate. Fortunately, just came to use it a bit late, but that's just perfect. All enemies clumping together like that, so you can hit them all with your ultimate. That's just great. 12% damage amplification, and of course the damage of my ultimate isn't too bad either. That's right now, it's almost 700 damage just from the ultimate. Quite a lot. Do you think that I'm dealing true damage to almost all of them? Let's just check their resistances. Not to Irelia, but obviously to Sustrana, and about Zed. Nah, Zed got magic resist as well. But still, I'm got a lot of. That's great play there. Cristiano was really, really good. And that was a bad call. She still had her ultimate up, and she used her ultimate and an auto attack together. I wanted to set one Q and then immediately go into pool, but I wanted to set Q first, and I didn't have the chance to do that. Since she outranged me, that was just a bad decision. I really misplayed there. She had the potential to kill me before I could get in range to set my Q and heal up. You should also notice that the healing from your Q is delayed. If you got spell vamp, then you're immediately healing the spell vamp portion at the very same moment where you're dealing the damage. But the healing effect from the... Can I get him up again? Am I still dead? Can I show the death timers? Ah, there it is, okay. The healing proportion is delayed, so it won't save you when exchanging final shots in any way. If it hits you and you hits him, then the healing will come after you're getting the damage. So that's maybe important to remember. If you're looking at our team's builds, we agreed on just everyone buying Thornmail, basically, because they're having a full AD team. They went AD caster and then physical jungler and physical top lane. AD carry, of course, they're dealing almost 0 magic damage, so we had the possibility to basically just stack armor here. So furthermore, what do I else have here? You see the Haunting guys. Obviously I want to upgrade it because the effect is really nice. The passive effect on Leandry's Torment, but for now it's basically just another magic penetration item. I really want to deal high amount of damage, and the magic penetration, that's really important to remember. Your Thornmail, The damage from Thornmail's passive scales with magic penetration. So Thornmail isn't, I think it's not really necessarily a tank item, because a tank, if he gets Thornmail, then he won't be focused, and he actually wants to get focused, usually. She wants to take the damage, so there's not much point in buying a Thornmail, since tanks usually won't have a lot of magic penetration. Then they are doing 30% of they're reflecting 30% of incoming damage as magic damage, but the magic damage gets reduced by a significant amount due to the fact that the enemy has magic resistance. If you're buying it on an AP caster, however, the enemy is basically almost forced to focus you on your AP caster. Yeah, that Vayne just went pop. And if they attack you, then they're then getting, in my case, basically full true damage reflected, 30% of their damage before my armor reduction, and I'm sitting right now on 243 armor. So basically, this Tristana, when she hits me, she's dealing. Well, I've not done the math on this right now, but I think she's dealing more damage to herself than she's dealing to me. However, she got, of course, lifesteal, so that's not the old part, but at least I can say, if she hits me, she's basically not really getting any benefit from lifestealing up again. So she's inclined not to hit me, because I can't do much against Tristana hitting on me. Tristana's clearly outranging me, so we have to deal with basically their team. And since we are all sitting on Thornmails right now, we can basically, not ignore Tristana pumping on us, but, well, it's not that effective. We can shut down their team faster than she shoots us. They're quite smart, of course. She got Last Whisper now, since she realized she needs armor penetration to deal with us. It's actually coming quite late, since we built our stuff really early. I just got the upgrade, Leandri's Torment, okay. Zed, of course, has, as high armor penetration as he can get, except for the Yomu's Ghostblade. Doesn't have that yet. Maybe I should switch the Fork of War again, so we can see on the minimap what's going on. When you're looking right now, it didn't stand too well for us, but we managed to get out of there. I think that's mostly due to the fact that they don't have any magic damage, and we were able to just stack armor. I think I'm the AP caster, I'm 243 armor, it's just sick. With the Thornmail effect, with right now 44 and 40% magic penetration, I'm nearly invincible against physical damage right now. There's no point for Tristana to try kite me in any way. He just can only run away. I'm not losing health anymore in those fights. Nice flash, Diana. There's pretty much nothing they can do against Thornmail stacking. It's just a bit of a failed team composition. So, against not a full AD comp, maybe you don't want to get Thornmail, but get a magic resistance item. Spirit Visage, for example, or Abyssal Scepter, depends on if you need to deal more damage or get more sustain. But against this team, or just in general, just remember, build smart. So, that's basically how we turned this around. and won the game. You saw the effect of Vladimir in all the team fights. You see the stats, despite getting away early kill to jungler ganks, got into that game. And Vladimir, even if he doesn't have high stats, then he still has been useful in the fight, potentially. The most important thing, always remember, is using your ultimate well, and then chaining your untargetable stances. Well, that means your pool and the Zonias. And yeah, deal a lot of damage, try to stay alive, and apply your stuff. Other nice items to get are Realize, if you're going for more tanky, and the sustain build, where you go like cooldown reduction boots, spell vamp, the spirit visage for the healing effect. Then you probably want to get Realize as well, since you're not doing a lot of damage anyways. You can go for the Realize just for ground control support for your team. Then you're more like a supportive AP caster and not really a carry at all. That's also viable, of course. So there are a lot of options here. And I'm done with that. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time.